Welcome to Boxing Fans Talk TV. I'm your host, TDT, and you can refer to me as Miss T. I know I've been gone a couple of days, won't nothing to talk about. I told y'all I won't come on unless something to talk about. But I'm back. I'm a back. And we're going to be talking about Connor Benn among some other things. I see Reginald Peters is in here already on time. Hey, Miss T, what's up, Reggie? Welcome to the building, King. But yeah, we're gonna talk about that and some other stuff. But y'all know the drill. Last time too. What up? What up? I'm back. Y'all saw the thumbnail, but y'all know what we do at the top of my hour. We do a water check here at Boxing Fans Talk TV. We advocate for 100 ounces of water per day from all of yous. All of yous. You know that 128 gallons, 128 ounces of water is what's preferred per person. Every adult should be able to drink that much. But we know that sometimes that's a bridge too far. So we just say, hey, shoot for 100 ounces. When you get real good at that, with that second nature, go ahead on and wrap it up. Get your gallon of water per day. We after all, we like 70%, approximately 70% body is in water. It's water. So it don't seem like it, but that's what they say, 65 to 70%. But anyway, if some of you are not partial to water, but at least twice a day you should drink water. First thing in the morning before the toes hit the ground, before you get your morning routine, drink you like 8 ounces of water, leave it on the nightstand. I even advocate to buy a little fridge. You can buy a cube shaped fridge, like a little box shape, or one like I got is 36 inches waist high, and I keep like refreshments, stuff I might be eating, I can put in the fridge instead of taking that walk down to the kitchen. And then you get there, then you be like, if you like me, let me fix something. So to avoid all that, that's the way I discipline myself. I like cold water, but I can drink room temperature, and you should get used to doing that too. But I just prefer the cold water. So yeah, like I said, you drink water first thing in the morning. Your body is like an engine, is moving around. You need the water to move that stuff around. Then the second time is at night when you're in the bed after the shower or the bath and you got your pajamas in on. Drink you 8 ounces. You're not gonna fall asleep right away. So, but that's cool because the American Heart Association agrees that you should drink 8 ounces of water. They don't agree that you drink the water then go right to sleep. you know. But I guess a few, a little bit before you go to sleep that night, hit you, break yourself off with the water. A lot of reads going on at night, revamping, recharging, rebooting, re-cleaning. You making brand new cells, thousands of them per day, and you need everything to run smoothly. Water is a life sustainer. Plus, it's going to get you ready for in the morning. If you don't believe me, try it out. Drink you some water, in the last part of the day, if you can. You probably gonna have to use the bathroom. I don't know. I'm regular. I don't know about y'all, but if you're not a person that's going every time you eat, something wrong with you. I hate to say it like that. It might be normal to you, and you might seem like you okay, but it's gonna catch you one day. You supposed to have a number two after every time you eat, at least within 30 minutes after you eat. Every time you eat, a person like me, I don't know. This is the area of my body where I'm betting 1,000 because I can go 5-6 times a day. I don't even have to eat to have to go. And this faithfully, I go like that all the time. If I go a day or 2 or 3 days and I don't really do it, it's not that I haven't went a day or so without really doing it, or number 2 or whatever. I don't feel right. All I gotta drink is some water, a couple of bottles of water before that night in, and the first thing in the morning, I'm clean the fuck out. Or if I need to go and I don't think I'm going right, I eat me a sweet potato. Sweet potato cleans me out. Apple juice cleans me out. Them the only ones I go to. I ain't never gonna get on no prune tip or nothing like that. But you need to be cleaned out on the regular. So that's why you drinking this water too. Because first thing in the morning, everybody gotta go to the bathroom. So you want to help things move along efficiently and properly. So drink your water. Now that we talked about the water, let me get into some housekeeping. Please, 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 in my humblest voice ever, hit the like, share, and subscribe button. If you already subscribed, do not hit that button. You're locked in. So just hit the subscribe button. And if you're watching me on replay, please hit the like and share button. Leave comments. Leave it in English so I can read them. I'm not translating, whatever. If I sound a little funny today, I woke up this morning with my tongue swollen. I had to go to the emergency room. It's been like a couple of months that I ain't had to do it, but I guess I can't win everything. But I went there and I was trying to hold out. But I was like, damn, I couldn't even swallow. I couldn't even close my mouth. I couldn't even swallow. And it was just, I was like, man, but that's what I've been avoiding, that cocktail medicine, because part of that medicine is steroids, and I'm tired of being on steroids. Anywho, but I think it went down enough. I think y'all can hear me clear. If y'all can't, let me know. I even had to do some work on my Xfinity, my new internet, because some kind of way it was discombobulated. They had plugged their equipment into somebody else's equipment, my previous internet provider. When I had to take that stuff down to take it back, it kind of went off the other day. And I was like, what the hell? We had to figure out. It took me a minute, but we got it back up and running. So yeah, I've been on a 2-day hiatus, but I'm back. So we're gonna talk about Connor Benn. He got caught with his hands in a cookie jar. Before I get in there, how was your last couple of days, Reggie? Now he said, hey, Miss T. So Connor Benn, I did a show months ago, and I talked about how I noticed certain things about certain fighters, and that these fighters are popular and they well known, and well, at least people who really do be paying attention to boxing. Connor Benn I was never a big fan of his. I didn't hate him, but I never thought he was what they was trying to portray him as. He's another one that I was saying they put the cart before the horse. And Reginald said, miss you, happy that you're well. Thank you, Reginald. Yeah, one of the days was the internet The one of those days, I was bored the fuck out. I was tired. I took a nap and wound up sleeping all night. It happens sometimes, but I try not to do that. Oh yeah, y'all. I come on Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's Monday through Friday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let something happen. Like these last 2 days. I mean, I ain't perfect. And if you have any questions, hit me up at boxingfanstalk@gmail.com. Boxingfanstalk@gmail.com. It's in the top right of my screen, of your screen. You should be able to see it. And my Cash App is Boxing Fans Talk TV. Thank you for previous Cash Apps, present and future Cash Apps. But that's the Cash App up there. So, okay, but yeah, Conor being, it's so many things that I could see. And I went through this whole long monologue about, I could see certain things. I even gave you examples like, if you have a Down syndrome kid, we know it doesn't matter what race that Down syndrome kid is born into. We know them when we see them, don't we? They have a look. Well, so do preemies. Like real premature babies, they have a certain look. But so do people with certain ailments. They have a look. Me, y'all know my story. Ever since I was 24, my thyroid gland was removed. And I can tell you it started a chain reaction, a domino effect, if you will, with all kind of medical stuff. And I know when people are struggling with their hormones. I know. And when you take PEDs, see, I might not know about all the different PEDs and the different brands and the designer drugs and all this. What I do know is when you fuck with your hormone, there's a telltale sign. And, I would say, I'm not a doctor, so I can't say it's absolute that I can tell. I'm not drawing blood. I'm not running no tests, no medical tests on you to see if you got this, that, and other. But you have a look. We all have that look. It will show up. It's so many different looks and telltale signs when your hormones are out of whack. But somebody who don't have this problem wouldn't notice it. Or somebody who don't have a family member that have the problem wouldn't notice it. And people got misconceptions just because you say you have a hormone problem, like something wrong, mentally, or maybe you playing for the wrong team or whatever the fuck that people could think. No, hormones are what you need to live. Like when they say vitamin D, that's really a hormone. Vitamin D is not a vitamin, it's a hormone. The only things that are truly vitamins are B vitamins. Everything else is a hormone. You don't got no hormones going on in your body. You're not a living person. You're not a living thing because your body runs off of it, right? So there's telltale signs. I gave one example. Bug eyes are not a genetic trait. They're just not. And the reason I gave that example, I was in class years ago with this young lady, and we had a partner up, me, her, and this other girl. We were sitting on the same row. Actually, it was 4 of us, but one didn't hardly come to school, so it was really 3. And we had to do assignments, and we all wanted an A, so we wanted everybody to pull their part. Well, the one lady sitting to my right, she was very young, nice looking, but she had bug eyes a little bit, like her eyes were protruding. And I never said nothing. After about a couple of weeks, I got the nerve up to say something to her. And I said, excuse me, I don't mean no harm and disrespect, but I got to ask you this. Do you have a thyroid problem? And she said, yes, I just found that out. How do you know? She was looking at me like, are you in my business? Like, you stalking me? How do you know? Or whatever. Or you read my information when I come back from the doctor? Because I sat right next to her. And I said, no, it's your eyes. And she said, my daddy has eyes like this. I said, your daddy got a thyroid problem too? She said, yeah, later in life. I said, yeah. I said, I'm going to tell you this. And again, I say this with all due respect, but that's not a genetic trait. What may be genetic about it is how your disposition on having a faulty thyroid gland may be genetic. But having bug eyes is not a genetic trait. It's really not. And the fact that you have them, that's what told me. Now, for her, she was like 22, something like that, very young, but she had 4 kids, and her oldest was like 8. I was like, God damn. I started late. And that don't mean I'm bad or I'm good or I ain't tooting my horn or nothing, but it just be, I didn't start having kids along with my peers. I started late. Where by the time I started having kids, my peers' children were teenagers, you know, which is great, but they started early too. That part, that part. Regina said that's so dangerous to with pets. Yeah, and Patricia Shelton is in the building. What's popping, Queen? She said, "What about menopause? Menopause. What you mean? Like, is there a look? No, that won't be a look. It would be actions that tell menopause. That tell on people if they're on menopause. But most things that you have, like thyroid, can be a disease too. That you can have hypothyroidism, which is called thyroid disease, or hyper. But you get them. You can get them for a lot of reasons. You can be exposed to radiation. You can be because when radiation meets the body, or if you're exposed to it, even in the smallest dosages of radiation, so much so that they don't even know that you're being, like, you could be in a store or some kind of place. I was in the military. That place could have exposure to radiation, but they didn't know it was so small. But I'll tell you, 5 of us, it was like 5 of us who were between 20 and 25. We all came down with cancer, and they were glandular cancers. Like, the boys got in their testicles. It was 3 boys and 2 girls, me and this other girl. She had it all in her neck, and your neck is full of glands. So radiation, one of the first things that hit in your body is your glands. And for men, that's your testicles, by the way. And so me and this guy, we was actually at Bethesda Naval Hospital getting shit removed at the same time. Of course, I told you where he had his at. Mine was in my thyroid gland. But that's what radiation do. It'll run to your glands first before it run to anything else in your body. But for me, my reasoning, I believe, is I have autoimmune disorders, and you're born with that. But I don't know why doctors don't feel the need to share it. In the 70s, they didn't share that with my parents. So I never knew I had an autoimmune disorder till I was in my 30s. But it's when your body attacks itself. But let me get back to the story. So the girl had bug eyes, and I told her, and I said, because I know that that's not a genetic trait, from what I was reading. And I said, so it tells me you got a thyroid problem. And I told her, I said, I don't know how far into your issue that you are, but I can tell you some things. I've been through it. And I've been through it the old school way, where all they wanted to do was gut shit out. They saw it, they said, oh, we got to take it out. And nowadays they realize that that's the wrong course of action. They rather just change some stuff about your environment and how you eat to fix the problem. But I didn't get that benefit of the doubt. And when you have something like that and they just gut you out, it starts a domino effect in all of your health. And you can't get it back. Your quality of life is fucked and you just can't get it back. So I didn't want her to have that. But it's funny that I noticed that about her. So getting back to boxing, I see a lot of fighters out there. Some of your favorite fighters, some of mine too. I don't say nothing because it's not an absolute. Okay, let me repeat that. It's not an absolute. But I've been dealing with this since I was 24. When I tell you I'm an expert in this shit, I'm an expert. And I see people all the time, and I be like, want to say something, but don't want to cross the lines, because some people might not take it too well of some of the stuff you say, or they might think, how you know that about me? Because people don't have those issues and then come talk about it to others. Because in the end of the day, I think it's because people don't know how to talk to you about it. They say hurtful things, even if they don't mean to. They wind up saying hurtful things. This is what I can remember when I was younger. And it was like, when you have something that you can't control and you can't stop, and for somebody to say something like you could go back and fix it, like you even tried to break it in the first place, that shit hurt. And I was young going through this. I'm used to it now, but I was young going through this. And so when I look at certain boxers, because when you mess with those pads, correct me if I'm wrong, those PEDs, you are fucking with your hormones. I can tell you right now too, one little simple thing. I've heard people say this over and over again. Who out there amongst y'all be buying melanin pills? What did Reginald say? Said that's so dangerous with the pets. Then he said, too much information, Miss He laugh out loud. Patricia said the hormones. Yeah. The hormones. Now, when you go through menopause, that's just natural. Just like when we become, women at 13 and 12, when we start having a cycle, just like men, voices change and all that. That's, you see those actions showed us. You see a dude one year and he talk, and like pipsqueak like, and then next year he be like, hello. We know something happened. That's an action that happened, but it's so natural, whatever. It's not a look. It's not actually like a look, other than the fact that he's getting taller, growing facial hair, and his voice changed. And a woman getting curves, and she got a cycle, she got a cycle, and her breast is growing. So other than those traditional looks, which nobody's gonna trip on, because every woman is gonna get to a point where she grow her breasts and she gonna curve out, and every man is gonna get to a point where he's getting taller, he's gonna grow facial hair, and his voice gonna get deep. Not that. Well, menopause is different because you are already a woman, and it's the things you do. It's your actions, or whatever that can clue people in. Like the changes in mood swing. If you wasn't a person who was moody, or changing your mood swing that much, and then all of a sudden that's what you're doing, or you start being lackluster, or you want to stay home, like you canceling dates because maybe you got your cycle, or maybe you just don't feel good and you staying home. Whereas when you was young, you wouldn't have did that. It ain't gonna be, oh, I got gray hair, or I'm starting to wrinkle up. It ain't that type stuff. That's not the look. It's more so your actions when you talk about natural things occurring. But when I'm talking about hormone issues, it's things that's unnatural. Like I would say for a man, a barrel chest. I know that sounds crazy. Be like, what is a barrel chest? You'll know it when you see it. If somebody ever pointed it out to you, you'll never forget it. Because there are guys, when I see guys with it, because guys, when you get older, yeah, you can get the pop belly or you get the little belly. But when you get a barrel chest, that shit start up from by your neck all the way down. And it's tight. It's real tight. And it looks uncomfortable. It looks very uncomfortable. But that's how I can tell. That's one of the signs too. So I try not to talk about it. I try to be respectful. And I don't want to put nothing on a certain fighter because I don't want to come off making it look like I'm trying to destroy them, hurt their career, or hating or something like that. So I just don't say anything. But now that he got caught, all bets are off. He was one of the guys I was talking about, y'all. When I look at his chest, and I ain't going to it, like, it's just certain things about Conor Benn, but it's also how he was moving. Sometimes how you move in these boxing streets can tell something too. Mr. I want to be undisputed. Mr. I'm the creme de la creme of the 147-pound division, but I don't want to fight the creme de la creme. Errol Spencer turns Crawford. I'm not even looking for them. I'm not even looking for the people behind them like Bruce Ennis, Virgil Ortiz. or Ugas, or some top notch dude. Let me find a guy that's uh that's down and out like a AB, who said, I'm not going to welterweight. I'm back at 140. But you hunted him down. Oh, you fought Chris Algieri. You fought what's the name? Granados, and Granados finished it with you. I think Chris Van Heerden, I might be saying his name wrong. Van Heerden, he was saying that shit, he felt like robbed. Now that he hear this stuff, he's like, that loss of that fight changed the trajectory in his career. It knocked him down so many pegs or two, and he think maybe he was cheating in his fight. He was talking about when he fought Spence. He said Spence could hit hard, but not like that. You know what I'm saying? He felt like when Conor hit him, he was dazed. He was dizzy and mystified and shit. And he didn't get that from no other fighters that he fought before. And Conor Benn was just knocking folks out. And that's another thing, how he boxed. How he boxed. And like, first of all, he was cherry picking. He was only picking people that's down, on their way out, down and out, trying to. He always seemed like a person who looked for leverage. Then you hear what was in their contract. Now, what's his name? Chris Eubanks Sr. been telling everybody but Santa Claus that this fight shouldn't happen. And turned out he was right. God was listening. And when they came out with this information, I said, look at God. That's what I said. Look at God. I did, because this man was concerned for his son. He was saying this catch weight and then the rehydration clause was only to help Conor. And Conor just want to show out on people that's down and out. He don't want to face no hardcore people. So right there, I was like, dude, you're not elite. Because as soon as you step up in competition, we're going to see what you made of. But he was knocking everybody out. And that's all he tried to do. Like, y'all be talking about falling in love with your power and shit. That's all that nigga ever tried to do. So I was like, just how he was moving. His looks, I'm not going to get into it, because if I say his looks or, his features or whatever, not the way his look like, all of us have our own looks. We look like our dad, we look like our mom. I'm not talking about that kind of look, but look like something was altered. And I'm not gonna say it, because there's other fighters out there that got the same problem. And your favorite fighters. And I ain't gonna say nothing, but if they were ever to get caught, it wouldn't surprise me. Not at all. And you can bet your last dollar that I'm not a big fan of theirs, but I don't hate him. I don't hate nobody. He did what he did. And Van Heerden on the Fight Hype interview, y'all should go listen to that, because basically this is how I feel about. He said in a nutshell how I feel about cheaters. I can't stand a cheater. Not in this sport. Like, I can get over cheaters in other sports. I wouldn't like it. None of us would want to be cheated or taken advantage of or treated unfairly. None of us would. But I could get over, and not hold a grudge for a long time. But not in boxing. Not in no combat sport. Because what it tells me is you have a disregard for human life. And that I cannot take. I can't stand by that. Ray New Salters is in the building. What's Papa King? He said, Miss T, hey, beautiful. It's Friday and you ain't got shit to do in my Chris Tucker voice. I sure don't. I get fired on my day off. He said, laugh out loud, right? I'd rather say UK fighter is known for pet. And that's another thing. They use Yakata. I'm trying to learn more about these pairs and the evolution of how it's going in the boxing world. I don't know if I would catch up with it. It wasn't I ain't gonna say I'm too interested in learning, geeking it out, but I do want to learn about it, some things or whatever. Apparently, he got caught using some drug called clomiphene, or something like that, and it's a masking agent. UCADA don't look for masking agents. This is the UK's answer to VADA. They don't look for masking agents, but VADA do. And VADA caught his ass. I'm starting to like VADA. VADA don't give a fuck who you is. So we think, because, and I'm just saying this part. There's some people that didn't make the list in their fights this year, and VADA never squealed on them. They ain't say nothing, and they were supposed to take their test. Now, I'm not saying that these people doing anything. I'm saying simply they didn't take their test this year before their fights. Now, when I say inquiring minds wants to know what's good with his B sample, a lot of people want to know, like the opposition's team, Eubanks Jr. and his team, manager and all them, even Carter Benn and them want to know. I don't know. The B sample has not been tested for as far as I know, and hasn't come out. And I'm like, okay. And that's supposed to happen. The guy name is Garrett Davis, said it was the right thing to do. I think he's a manager with Eubanks Jr. He said that was the right thing to do. Eddie Hearn wanted to keep the fight going. It could have gone, because they stand to make millions, y'all. This is a big fight in the UK. Now, to me, this is when you step in, Eubanks, with your leverage. You say, okay, I'll do the catch weight, just to be fair. But hydration calls is off the table. And you going to pay me a fine. Now, you do that, put $1 million back on that shit. I need a bonus of $1 million to get in the ring with him. And he need to do that. But now, if it get to the point where boxers be like, shit, I just paid $1 million fine. Nah, then you got to hit them where it hurts. But Conor Benn is running around here acting, I just don't know. I don't know. That can't be true. Yakata never found nothing. Yakata and VADA is operating on two different principles. And Conor Benn is walking around claiming he's innocent. And like I said, y'all remember Eubanks' daddy been calling out and asking everybody but Santa Claus to call off this fight. He was complaining. He was concerned with his son's health. He felt like his son could really get hurt. You know what I really think? I think these boxers, former boxers, active boxers, people in the boxing world, up close and personal, know who the cheaters are. But see, y'all men got this fucking code that y'all don't want to be snitching and shit. That's why this shit can never work in the women's division. One, ain't no woman trying to look like Shiva and be fucked up. We are hormonal most of our lives. We go through 2 puberties. We don't need to be fucking up no shit. So we would never do that shit. Plus, it can make you bigger. You know what I'm saying? And we ain't trying to do that. But if we were, we would snitch on a bitch in a minute. In a minute. So I want y'all to tell me what y'all be thinking. When I drop the link, I want y'all to tell me what y'all think. Should men who know, because I think a lot of boxers know, should they squeal? Should they rat a nigga out? Because people got this misconception about snitching in general. You only snitching if you're in cahoots with the person committing the violation or the crime, and then you want to come snitch after the fact. That's snitching. If you're not a part of the crime or in cahoots with the person ever, you telling is not snitching. The most you can be is a tattletale. But if you fucking my shit up, why shouldn't I tell on you? If you doing something heinous, like kidnapping children, so why shouldn't I tell him? I ain't got no loyalty to you. When you out here doing this stuff and you getting all the accolades and getting all the money, it's not about hate or jealousy. You are fucking it up for other people that's trying to do right. And they paying attention to your whack ass. No. A little birdie need to be dropped. Maybe I'm wrong, y'all. Y'all guys tell me, or y'all think I got my lady's thinking cap on. Reginald Peters said PD should be a crime in boxing. It should be. Laugh out loud. His white mama must so sad. Yeah. Why he says white mama? You know, all that doing what he was doing, the hydration clause, that wasn't enough. You know that Eubanks Jr. is a bigger guy. That wasn't enough to hide, you know, the hydration clause and catch weight and shit. That wasn't enough leverage for Connor Benn. He had to take it to another level. But like I said, I always knew he was a cheating ass. My gut told me the way he moves, certain looks in his body. I knew. But I know that some folks will probably be like, yeah, you're going to say that after the fact. It's out of respect for their career that they chose, whomever they are. You ain't got to be rich. You ain't got to be famous. You ain't got to be popular. I won't say, because you know what? I believe all things come to the light soon. All things done in the dark will come to the light. And I believe that cold-heartedly. And look what happened. He thought he could ride off into the sunset with his whole career. Eddie Hearn over there paying this nigga millions, and he's a fraud. He always been cheating. That's why I say you don't wake up in one fight and say, oh, I think I'm going to decide to cheat. You've been cheating. That's what I say about Canelo. But him getting caught don't surprise me. And that's why I say, look at God. Eubanks' daddy was serious about protecting his son. I think he knew. I can't confirm or deny, but I think he knew that Conor Benn was on that shit. I think he knew. I think his daddy probably was on it back in the day. See, that's when you do shit like that, you open the door. How your daddy don't know? Reginald Peters said his dad was a beast when he fought. Yeah, he probably was a beast on that shit. But what happened? Chris Eubanks Sr. got his way for calling off the fight, and as he should. And Reginald said, yes, he knew. So he could have, I dropped the, oh shit. I don't know why my thing did this so many times, but I dropped the link in the chat so y'all can hit it and tell me, like, do you think his dad knew? Do you think he been cheating? Chris Van Herden said, I be thinking about the fight he had before me with Chris Algieri. He said, what's that? Earl Spence couldn't knock me out, but he did. And he said Boots Ennis and our fight was cut short because the clash of heads, but Boots was winning or whatever, but it ain't like he knocked him out. That's what Chris Van Herden was saying. So we got Reginald in the building. What's up, King? What you got on it? You on mute. I hear kids in the background. Okay. We still don't hear you, King. We heard kids in the background. You got me on mute. When you come through, just go ahead and start speaking. I can't hear you.
Yeah, hey, Miss T.
Oh, hey, Reginald, what's good?
You know what? The UK, not saying United States is clean, but United Kingdom, they known for cheating over there. It seems like it ain't no big deal if somebody popped for steroids. You know, Dylan White got busted, Billy Joe Sanders, the Fury family. It seemed like they just sweep it under the rug and be like you said, Eddie Hearn still want to make that fight. And we have our fighters that got busted. You know, Sugar Shane got busted, and there's rumor that Vander Holyfield was on steroids.
Big Baby Miller.
Yeah, Big Baby Miller. They said Pacquiao was on some.
I always thought he was too.
Yeah, even my boy Earl Spence, they say he's allegedly on steroids. But if we got some type of, we got some type of trick in place to bust some of these guys. But over there, It's like they just don't care, man. It seems like just part of their nature. You got busted, okay, let's fight.
Yeah, but a lot of them get busted. Seem like quicker than they do over here. We do it just as bad, but they more clever here at hiding it and put because Pacquiao was so embracing himself to the American culture as well. He could hide it. He knew the tricks of the trade. In my opinion, we saying opinion, y'all, because Pacquiao never got caught, never. And so for that, then he was clever. You know, he was clever of them all. But yeah, they get busted, and like look at the Fury thing. One minute he was banned, like he was banned from boxing in the UK. That's why he came over here. You didn't hear about no court date. You didn't hear about that dude reversing his testimony. You didn't hear anything. But Tyson Fury can fight in the UK now.
Right.
So yeah, it would appear that they, you know, I ain't gonna say they don't take it seriously, but it comes off like they don't because they don't discipline all the way through, and the people don't be held accountable. Even Ryan Garcia weighed into it, and he had some harsh words to say. And it's funny coming from Ryan, but I would say this: Ryan, to my knowledge, I have never. There's only one time that I thought Ryan, like, what's wrong with your chest, nigga? But that's the only time. But overall, I don't be thinking he's doing something. But see, if he is, as I say, everything done in the dock gonna come to light.
Right.
You know, but Ryan weighed in, but just Ryan as a whole, I can't see how he talk about anybody. But I ain't disagreeing with nothing he said for the most
Yeah,
part.
yeah, and boxing is so dangerous. Just imagine Deontay Wilder want to cheat a little bit with all the power he got, and say, you know what, I want to juice up a little bit, and that's right there attempted murder. You
Exactly.
know, and that is bad enough. You got to look out for Tyson Fury loaded gloves.
Mhm.
And I truly believe his gloves was loaded in that, especially in that second fight.
Most definitely.
And it's a lot of stuff they got to look out for. And these guys do put their lives on the line. And why you want to, make even more brain damage as it is when they already might be brain damaged, and then now you want to get on steroids and hit him in the head a little bit harder. And it goes back
Yeah.
to the character of Connor's Benn. If he a
Yeah.
cheater, his character is trash. And you know he
I
put that
mean,
stuff in your system, and you know that you want to damage him up, and you don't care. You want to win that bad?
look, I'm talking to all the young fighters that may be listening to this podcast. Let me tell y'all something. First, hit my subscribe button, goddamn it. But secondly, don't do it. And I had started a story about people who like to take melanin because it helped them sleep and calm them down and shit. Uh, either you was given that gift, and it is a gift, melanin, or you wasn't. But in my opinion, God don't make mistakes. You do
Right,
have melanin in you. Even, I'm talking to my white brothers and sisters out there. You do have melanin in you. When you start taking things that your body naturally does, it stop doing it, and that's dangerous because it starts an imbalance in your body, and an imbalance anywhere in your body is an imbalance everywhere in your body. So not only did you just stop your melanin from doing what it's supposed to do, you stopping other stuff because you didn't made it imbalance right there. So you're gonna make it imbalance somewhere else, and it's gonna be like a domino effect, and it's gonna fuck your hormones up. So
right,
stop it. Stop it. Don't do that. To my white brothers and sisters, they always want to take melanin. Stop that shit. When the truth of the matter is, if you have, because they want it for sleep and relaxation. Look, you got to learn a word that black people have been learning since, I don't know, maybe slavery or a damn show the 20th century. You got to learn the word fuck it. Our money is in the building. What's Poppy King? Say, hey, Miss T, what's Poppy King? See,
what
with the
up, Big Al?
logo on it. Yeah, you gotta learn that word fuck it, because that's what we say. Fuck it. Fuck it, I can't do shit. Why the fuck I'm gonna do sleep and wear too much? We do wear it. We do wear it. Black people have changed over the years. This
Right.
the way we act nowadays is so contrary to how we used to act back in the day. We will say fuck it in a minute and keep it pushing. What I'm gonna do? Sleep, go gray over some shit I can't change. We was on that serenity prayer for real, won't it?
Yeah.
And we all need to get back to it, because the truth of the matter is, the older you get, when you get in your mid-30s, and this is when people have sleeping problems, when they get in that, maybe some in the early 30s, but mostly in your mid-30s. If you're a youngster or a teenager having sleeping problems, you can't sleep and all that shit, you we can tell, but that's a telltale sign that you've had a hard life or a traumatic life. And that's what happens, y'all. You go through some kind of trauma, and what's trauma to the next person might not be trauma to you. But if it's traumatic to them and they're going through something, they can't sleep because they're wearing it. That's why you can't sleep. And that's why I say you got to have that fuck it gene. Oh, I lost my house. Fuck it. I lost my car. Fuck it. You got to, because you got it one time, you can get it again.
Right.
It just might not be on your time. I had to learn. Oh my God, did I have to learn this lesson of just being not just fucking, but just like everything you want ain't gonna happen when you want it to.
Right.
And that's a story of my life. If any, I got family members and people, they be like, "Girl, you lucky. You ain't worked since 2012, but you ain't missed a beat. You still living the same. How you do it?" I've had people be like, "You gotta tell me. I don't mean to be nosy, but how are you making it?" That's my business. I ain't doing nothing illegal, but you don't know my struggle. Every time I want something, I don't get it right away. I always have to wait and work for everything I get. I'm so used to it now. But when I was younger and I saw that that was going to be my plight in life, I didn't like it. And I would turn myself up and be all in turmoil because I'm like, it's not fair. I've even shed tears like, God damn, why me? And then one day I said, why not you? Fuck it. And I've been good ever since. I sleep when I sleep. If I don't sleep, if I can't sleep, it's because my dumb ass been up or slept during the day. Like, if I can't sleep at night, it's because I slept during the day. Simple as that.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like that too. And I just pray on it and, try to throw it before God hands, and then let him work it out. Because if I work it, I'll probably ride right back into the ditch.
Mm-hmm.
But first them taking PEDs, so they want to win that bad. Nah,
That
I'll
bad, Shorty.
pass.
You want to
You
be
know,
fake? You want to be sitting on top of the mantle in a fake position? Like that make you feel good? I never understood that.
right? And the thing about it, okay, you win right now, which is 2022. 10
Mm-hmm.
years from now, your liver going to be shot, your heart going to be
Mm.
shot. I mean,
Calcium deposits on your shit. You might have to get
what?
some shit removed. Really? It's worth it?
Because it's like a two-edged sword, man. Those hormones can help you, but they can tear you down at the same time, man.
They can kill you too.
Yeah. Because I had a herniated disc in my back, and I got steroid injection, and it
Mm-hmm.
hurt my back, but it pushed my pre-diabetes to diabetes. I was already borderline,
Mm-hmm.
and that one shot pushed me over the cliff, man. But
Yeah,
my back was 70% better. But like I said, that hormones ain't nothing to play with. Put it that way. You right.
it ain't. That's why I know women won't do it, because see, y'all have an answer for it when you're young. You got testosterone that can offset it. Like, even though you eat, you taking in steroids, you got natural testosterone, and that's a building block of muscle. You know what I'm saying? We don't have a lot of it in our bodies. Women do have it, but we have it strategically placed. Like, in our reproductive area, believe it or not, what makes a woman horny and makes a woman want to do is testosterone. Everybody works off testosterone in your brain. So we have it strategically. Not a lot, not enough to shake a stick at. Y'all got an abundance of it. So when you taking the steroid, because the steroid gonna make you hungry. The steroid gonna put weight on you, depending on types of steroids. I know, but like steroids in general, that's what they do. You cannot fight hunger off of steroids. Like, oh my god, every time I gotta get it, I be like, shit. Because when that hunger pain hit, oh my god, I cannot. I have not been able to defeat it. Steroids and me have gone undefeated. And so that's why I say, like, you start taking steroids and it's supposed to do a job in your body that your body naturally does. Your body gonna say, why should I do it? And she obviously, or he's already obviously taking something that's gonna do it for me. So it shuts down and it throws your whole body out of whack. And like you had said, years later, when your kidney fucked up and your liver fucked up, because you only get one liver, and and your lungs fucked up and all kinds of shit fucked up, then what you gonna do? You gonna be old before you old. You gonna be in your 50s or late 40s, like, and you might as well be 70 something years old. But it was worth it, right? That damage and that harm you meant for your opponents gonna flip right back on your ass. So Connor being you on my shit list as of now. I knew that you was cheating all along, and I could see it. You was one of them people I was talking about. And there's a couple of other
Huh?
people out there,
Huh?
huh? So that I can look at and be like,
Right.
huh? The other people out there I can look at and say, you're fucking with your hormones. I see it. I see through you, boo. In my biggie small voice, I see you, boo. I see through you, and you're gonna pay for it. Trust me, I know you're gonna pay for it. So, you got anything else on Mr. Connor being himself cheating ass?
You know what, man? Like you said, man, they're gonna try to. I guess it's that fight over there is a moneymaker, so they gonna probably wait 30 days, check him again, or let him slide through. Cause Eddie Hearns is a snake. He don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie gonna
Well,
put them two prostitutes out there to get him his money.
if he don't do it in the next month, they gotta wait a year. Because if they have canceled it because of his cheating ass, so he gonna have to get some kind of suspension, and he's gonna have to wait a year. But they may never even have an opportunity to fight, and the excitement for this fight may have waned for the good. If they don't get it on now, so kind of being pretty much threw a monkey wrench in his shit. I knew he was full of shit. Like I said, I so wish I could sit here right now, Reginald, and call people out by name. I wish,
Right.
and I just won't do it.
Yeah, you could kind of tell, man. Especially the veterans who've been in the game a long time, and now they in the early part of their career, and now they starting to come King Kong again. James Toney was another one who got busted on
Mm-hmm.
steroids.
Mm-hmm.
Roy Jones Jr. Yep, he
Him
got
too.
busted too.
And guess what? Like people can, like, this is what I'm not good at. I know people. I know the drug game. I know people who be in it. I can tell when you're a part of it, but to what extent, how deep, I couldn't tell you. Like, I never try to be friends with a junkie. Never. I've had friends that turned to that way, and I consider it a disease, and how unfortunate, because we as humans, a lot of us have vices. Even me, smoking. I picked that up so easy. That's a vice. So I'm not knocking down junkies, but I don't. When they start going that route, like, I'm gonna tell you, growing up when I was younger, teenage and all of my 20s, if you start bumping coke up your nose and shit, that was the first and last time me and you would ever hang together. I'm done. I don't hang with cokeheads. I wouldn't, and that's not me putting them down, but I know that addiction is real. So if I hang with you, eventually I will be desensitized to what you're doing and I might just try it out. And I knew I never wanted to be a cokehead, a crackhead, or none of that. So if you did those type of drugs, toodles, smooches, I'm out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm just like you. I got a bad habit of. I already got enough bad habit of eating pig feet, chitlins, hamburger. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to put nothing extra in my body because I'm already put enough bad stuff in it as it is.
Exactly. Exactly. So I bamboosh. I don't put them down. I don't look down on them. I be like, you don't know what you're getting into because I don't want nothing to be in me that's stronger than me. That's why I get mad at the steroids that I have to take, but I have to take it to save my life. But
Yeah,
not all steroids are bad, but this one, it knocks swelling out, and the swelling that I be having be choking me. You know what I'm saying? So now I got a fear of choking because I be going through it all the time. But I don't like the side effects of it. I really don't
right,
like it because it controls me, and I don't like nothing controlling me. I want to control me, and so that's why when it came to drugs, I was like, oh no, like
right.
I don't know how people talk themselves into it. Like, can you imagine them as children, training and boxing all their life, and they avoided a lot of stuff. They beat the peer pressure conundrum. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't fall victim to the peer pressure with their friends, and then time to get into boxing and get in good and start making money, peer pressure catches them. That part I would love for somebody to come on the show and just speak intelligently about how is that possible? What is that?
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Even using me as an example, man. Like any other kid, I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna go to high school and turn pro. And you got a lot of NFL players who ain't that good, get on those PEDs, trying to get to the lead, and 10, 15 years later, the rooster come home to crow.
To roost, yeah.
It's how
Chickens
bad
coming
you
home
want
to
it.
roost. Yeah. Yeah. In your Malcolm X voice.
Yeah, yeah. Chicken come home to roost.
Yeah. And yeah, it's unfortunate. So don't anybody who does coke or whatever, I'm not putting you down if you're watching. You need to stop.
Right,
You really need to stop. You don't want to ever have nothing that control you. And then the bad
right,
part about it, if you do it long enough, the damage is done. Look what I say about alcohol. Look what I said.
right.
If you won't gonna be no boxer and you was gonna be a worker with it, to each his own. You know what I'm saying? My daddy drank alcohol. I know a lot of people daddies and
Yeah,
parents drink alcohol. No biggie, but you didn't choose that life where you could do that. You chose the box. Talking about Earl Spence, talked about Brandon Figueroa and Omar Figueroa, who've now destroying their whole career. Brandon
right,
threw his fucking career away over that shit. And I'm gonna say this, and I don't want nobody to get no hurt feelings, but the way black people are genetically made is like they could take a little bit more. I don't know why, but they can. And you will know that even when they talking about babies. Like they'll
right.
say the strongest baby, like you could have 10 babies in there, and most of them could be from different types of races or whatever, a couple of repeats. Um, and all of these babies can have a serious ailment, right? The baby who's going to fare better most of the time, like 99% of the time, will always be the black female child.
Yeah,
And that's a medical fact.
yes,
Second behind her will be a black male. And then you will go from the melanated to the non melanated. That's how it works, y'all.
right,
So Omar is not a black man, and he threw his career away over alcohol, and he ain't even 30 yet. His PGA said he was 29. Gone. And look at his little brother following in his footsteps. You know, there's plenty of fighters that came before you. Your brother, Earl Spence, with his car accident. You should
Right.
have used them as a PSA announcement. And you sitting up here getting a DWI. For what? You know? So to
So
you
I'm like,
young, go ahead.
right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No, no,
Now,
this is to pick. No, this to pick by what you said. Hey, man, they need to start drinking that water. It's
mm-hmm,
like you start your show every day, man. Y'all need to drink that H2O and get that in your system. You know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
I wasn't always a water drinker. I wasn't always into that. And,
Yeah,
I have damaged my body because I
yeah,
drank water, but when I was young, I was so busy just being young, doing me. I don't want to drink no water. Give me a soda. Give me some
right,
sweet tea. And I will be dehydrated so much. Not because I'm out in the dead of sun. I could be in the house and just be dehydrated. Now I'm in the hospital. Let me tell you, the damage is done. The damage is real. But it won't nothing big that I couldn't cure because I was young. But the damage gonna come back on you when you get
right.
older. So that's why
Yeah,
I said, man, stop fucking around.
that's what I quit drinking pop for maybe about a week and just drunk water. Joints feel a little bit better. Elbows, knees feel a little
Mm-hmm.
bit better. I mean, that water get in your system, it could clean everything out of your organs.
Yep, as
You
y'all
know?
see, I say that every day. There's a lot of cleaning going on and
Yeah.
everything. So that's why I drink water too. And I can tell on them days that I fall short, I always say in my Vivian Lee voice from Gone with the Wind, if you fall off, don't worry. Because after all, tomorrow is another day. Meaning get back up on the horse and keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? It's not the end of the world. Get back on the horse in an hour and keep it pushing. But
Right.
you drink your water because the days that I don't drink enough, oh my God, I can feel it. Chest be all tight and hurting and shit. I'm
Right.
like, oh my God, let me go drink some water. Never used to
I
feel
mean,
this in my 20s and 30s.
and that's the truth, man. And like some get in the water supply, man, no matter what you think, everybody gonna be dead. You can't live without water.
Can't live
You know what I'm
without water.
saying?
Can't live
Some
without sunlight neither, and you can't live without salt. Believe it or not,
right, right. You know what I'm
all
saying?
the a fun history fact of Miss T know a lot of useless information, but I'm a history buff and I have a history degree. So, do you know that all major cities from back in the day, centuries ago, were all settled on salt deposits on
No, I didn't
purpose?
know that.
All on purpose. New York is a big salt deposit. Big salt deposit. And look at it, New Amsterdam. Look at where everybody preferred to go. New York, big salt deposit. All the cities that end in which, for the most part, in England or the UK, they were all salt deposits. Every major city in the world that's famous and old, salt deposits.
Right, right. I remember reading something about like back in the day, salt
Mm-hmm.
was like almost better than gold back in the old
Mm-hmm.
Egyptian days. Cause that was like salt was like the form of thing that you had to have back in them
It,
days. And you're right.
it's a life sustainer. Even today, there when people get, and I've had cancer, so I've had this tutelage. The guy said, "Do you eat salt?" I said, "No." But see, everything that I heard about when I was young didn't apply to me. But about salt was, it seemed like all the black people get off the salt, leave the salt alone. Because people was
Right,
diabetic, just always point out the salt on their food. And
right,
so you know, I never ate salt as a youngster because I kept hearing that shit. And everybody in my family that got a certain age, they just have problems with salt. So I was like, oh, I'm not gonna even eat it. And to this day, I don't pour salt on no food I make. The shit be good though. It'd be good. People think you got to use every type of ingredient or whatever, or like pepper, salt, and hot sauce. Whatever. I don't do none of that shit. But those spices that you pour on your food is a form of salt anyway. And when
yeah,
they make food, they put salt in it. Like your ketchup has salt in it. You know that
everything.
Yeah, everything got salt. Otherwise, shit would taste real nasty.
Real nasty.
Trust me. So if they putting salt in it, why I need to add it?
Right. And I think we use it as a people and as a culture, we use a lot of salt probably back during the slavery days when masters
Mm-hmm.
used to throw them some leftover and they try to preserve it for a couple of days, maybe for a
Yep,
month or
yep,
two to stretch it. Then
yep,
salt that stuff up.
yep, yep. And salt is the old age preservative.
Right.
When they used to send seafood from Canada over to Europe, because England kind of ran Canada, like the part that's over the United States on that
Right.
East Coast, and they ran the United States. We had the Battle of 1812, but England ruled all this stuff, and we send
Yeah.
things to them, but you had to pack it in salt and travel across the North Sea, which is cold. It's its own refrigerator. If you on the North Sea with them type of old style boats, your motherfucking ass is in a freezer. It's cold as a bitch up on that water. Let me tell you, you ain't getting no break. They ain't got no heating blanket or nothing. I couldn't have survived. But that's how they would ship their stuff to keep it, like you said, fresh and preserved. You know what I'm saying? So salt, sunlight, and water are life sustainers. You got to have them in your diet. You have to. And
Yeah.
when they cheat with these pads, they throw all that shit off. They throw
Right.
all this stuff off. So winning to me. All money ain't good money.
Right, man. Especially if you're gonna pay a price after you retired, you think you got away with it, and all of a
Mhm.
sudden those PEDs started creeping up in your bloodstream.
And if
You
you
know.
if you did people foul and dirty, karma is a bitch, and it's real. And the crazy part is, shout out to all my ladies, we be wanting to see some karma. I swear to God, we be mad as hell when we young. Like, get that nigga back. He did this to me, whatever. When you young, you don't see the karma. But I swear, and not saying older is better, because I wish I was younger. But
Do you?
but yeah, sometimes I remember my life younger. It's a lot better. I wish I was younger with my brain that I got now. That's
Right,
what I would.
right. Yeah, yeah.
So,
Me
oh man,
too.
I would be turning it up. But
I know how to
um,
manage money better too.
oh, I know how to do a lot of things better. I can see through the bullshit clearer now because I'm not so optimistic and not in a bad way. I'm still optimistic, but not like when that's one thing. I'm gonna say a man could take that and they can use it for good, or they most times use it for bad. Women are nurturers and optimistic. Them two traits right there that we have an abundance of is usually what gets us fucked up. But it's meant for us to be that way
Right.
for the balance. Because what will happen is as you get older, men become more optimistic and nurturing, and women don't. Ain't that funny?
Yeah.
And then it's time for some payback. Ain't nothing more funnier. Look, I used to have to do like collateral duties and do stuff for people, like just to make my resume look better and all that. We used to go to this old folks home, and they had couples up in there. Like some of them was married, and some of them was single by themselves. Some of them their spouse died years before, or whatever. And so you'll see the couples, and then if you pick, because I always pick the female, because I ain't want to deal with an old man and possibly have to help him change and his balls hanging on the floor and shit. I
Look
ain't
at
gonna deal
that.
with that shit.
There you go.
I'm telling you, I won't deal with that shit. Yeah, I will say a story how I know that happened, but I'll be telling on family, so I ain't gonna do it. but I would never on purpose pick a guy, but I would always pick a lady. And sometimes I find out it's a package deal because she got a husband. But
Right.
I'll be sitting there talking, and maybe I'll play a game with them, and the guy be so far behind. Like when y'all do when age hit y'all ass, it hit you hard. The woman, she be having her mind, she be having her wits. The guy be like, duh, kind of like that. Man, the lady be cursing this motherfucking ass. I just be sitting there like, huh? Like you said that, a lot of times. And I had to go to the lady who was running the program, and she said, "Oh, don't worry about it." She said, ain't nothing bad. Because I'm thinking with my young mind, girl, you can't talk to your man like that. He gonna leave your ass. They don't. Where they going?
Exactly.
She more hip and more spry than him. He needs her. He ain't even just taking abuse. I was like, oh God, but I would never pick them again. I have to accidentally roll up on the couple because I don't want to see that shit neither. You know.
Yeah, I guess, like men, saying we go through life, and especially if the guys who ain't married, they was like, well, I'm eventually find somebody. And a couple of years go by before you wake up, you be like, I think I need a partner because I'm in my twilight years now.
Yeah. Yeah, because what was important to women when we're young become important to men when they get older. The thing that women lose when they get older is optimism and the feel of being nurturing, especially when their kids grow. I don't want to nurture. Look, I had to tell all these little kids, don't knock on my door. I was cool with you when my kid was a kid. My kid ain't a kid no more. You better go on somewhere.
Right.
I don't fuck with y'all kids. Why the fuck would I hang out with you? Shit, you know. But I
Y'all
but
hang on my own kids.
I say that to them when they don't get the point. Like, look here, I'm a grown ass woman. Come on, Shawty. But if they the first time I'll be like I try to be nice. I just want to hang with you. Ain't nothing for us to talk about. We in totally different generations. Come on, Shawty. You know, you better go find somebody your age. Ray New
Yeah.
said, leave that man balls alone. Hey, I can't help it if y'all get off the bed and the ball's still there and y'all take it from yourself.
Oh, she
That
got jokes.
that shit funny as hell. That's the funniest shit. Talk about our titties be hanging. Nigga, please. but but I did on occasion. Sometimes you get there. If you get there late, you got to take what they got. And I've gotten some white older gentlemen, and I swear it was a lesson I needed to learn how to be humble
Right.
and not judge people too harshly because these white men was stuck on wherever their generation was. Some of them was racist as fuck.
Right. Ain't that
All
crazy?
kinds of names. I mean, names that if it was somebody my age, maybe we'd have threw some hands. But
Right.
I looked at, I said, he's old, and that's all he know.
That's a
And he'll learn.
shame.
He'll learn when he passed, or maybe he'll learn
Right.
before he passed. That's why I come out. I be talking about Bob Aaron. I be like, y'all look, Bob do some janky, shady shit. But Bob's
Right.
90 years old. What you gonna do? He 90. You gotta let
90.
that go. I mean, you
Let
not.
him go, man.
Hmm?
Yeah, I'm like you. Let him go. Him, Don King, they up in age, man. So,
Yeah,
far concerned, they could get a pass. Cause what we gonna do to them, man?
yeah,
They almost 100 years old.
yeah. They can't spit on me or hit me or nothing. I might
Right.
fight their ass back, but other than that,
Right.
because some of them guys in that nursing home, they would try to hit you and shit. They might be old ass men, but they still men. They're a little strong. I had to put this weight on them. I had to put this hip on them, like I was guarding on the basketball court. I'm like, nigga, come on, like how
Right.
sit your ass down. Every now and then I curse, but then I was like, I always ended the day pleasant, and he
Right.
resisted. But this one guy, he was so racist. I kept getting them too because they said, "Well, you handled him the best," and I was like, y'all punishing me. But he would talk shit to me, call me all kinds of names. But we'll play our game, and at the end, he'd be like, "You all right?" He would say that every time I leave. "You all right?" And that was like, oh shit. By him even
Right.
saying that shit, they be like, Missy, can you? I was like, shit. But I was trying to get my points so I can make my rank and shit like that.
Right. You know what's something interesting is it's like when my mom she was real sick and we had to put her in hospice care, and I
Mm-hmm.
used to go visit her every day, and that's a different form of nursing. And And then when you know, like any medicine I could check out, man, and it was just mentally, those nurses got to be strong,
Yes.
and as soon as I, get off the elevator and hit the floor, it's like an eerie feeling like somebody's there. You can't see them, but you feel something is
Mm-hmm.
there, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And then that hospice care, man, is just a whole new different league,
I'm sorry
as
you
far as
went.
nursing.
Sorry you went through it. But
Oh man, because I'm thinking, yeah, my mother, she was real sick for a long time.
yeah.
And like I told my mom, I said, Mama, I said, look, just talk to Jesus. Talk to Jesus. You did everything for your kids. We're going to be fine. Just make sure that you talk to Lord, because at this point, what I'm saying, we can't help you no more. The doctors done did it. What I'm saying? They can do. What I'm saying? And you lived a long, good life. And I thank God blessed me in a situation to be with you, sit next to you over the last 20 something years of my life to watch over you. You know what I'm saying? So I told my mom, I said, Mama, just talk to Jesus, talk to God. You know what I'm saying? Because at this point, that's the only person that you need to be communication with.
Mm-hmm.
That's just my opinion. But yeah, I used to hit that flow, man. It was just, I won't say but something was there. And I was talking to the nurse who she do this, for the regular job. She was like, yeah, I get that feeling too. That's why I say I got to give up to those nurses who work that type of
Most definitely.
man.
Give it up. Shout outs to all the CNAs and the good ones
Right,
anyway. And the nurse, the good one. We talking about good ones, y'all. That
right,
give their time and energy to caregiving, because I can tell you right now, I'm not, and my family know. My family said all you gonna do is throw money at it. That's what they talk about when they talk about me. You gonna throw money at it, and they ain't never lied. Cause I can't do the caregiving. I can't do it, but in a sense, it's one of them things like I can't do it on a regular. But if I had to do it, I would do it right. And I would
right.
give other people dignity. Like I ain't so bad. Like I can't do it. I don't like to do it. So I'm a half-ass. No, if they need cleaning because they poop on themselves, I gotta suck it up, and I'm gonna clean them like I want myself to be clean. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? I'm gonna
right.
wash their face and make sure they decent. Like I would do my own self and do their hair like I would do my own self. But I can't be. I ain't gonna be back tomorrow or the next day. I'm just to fill it
Yeah,
in, if I need to. But
yeah,
yeah, I'll make sure you have the best nurses or whatever you need. But I can't do that shit every day. And it's
yeah.
crazy. I say
Yeah,
if I get to a point where I need that type, like I don't know. I be thinking about that. Like, would I even want to, still be here? Like, if I can't use the
right,
bathroom on my own or something like that,
right,
or
right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Because I mean, eventually, man, we always going to, come to that day. But it take a special type of. Well, I ain't gonna say because you got some good ones and you got some bad ones who could go in there and cause do that work every day. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
Because
Shout out.
see somebody work, you come to work Monday and they go on Tuesday, then you work Wednesday, somebody gonna die on Thursday. You gotta
Mm,
deal with that daily, man. I'll be a stone alcoholic. I need me another job.
and that's what I cannot deal with. I I said this before, and I don't know if people believe me. And all I can say is, uh, I don't know what this is, but I can tell, like when old people, like my family, get on me because they say, "Oh, you don't like old people." I was like, "Nah, I don't like being around them sometimes because I could tell when it's their time."
Oh
I don't know. I
wow.
can tell, like their skin changes, and the feel of them changes, and you can see it in their eyes. That even that they know any day now, and I cannot take that shit. I don't
I
like
don't
to be
know.
deaf or none of that.
Do you think it might be a gift from God that He gave you to notice something like that?
I don't know. I don't even be trying to use it. That's the funny part. If it is a gift, I don't try to use it at all because I can't take it. Like if I'm at a funeral and the casket is open, I'm choked up. I can't breathe. I'm feeling ill as hell. As soon as they close it, I feel a lot better. I don't want to see that. I don't want to. I don't
Right.
even go. I don't even go to wakes. I don't know how some people do that and then
Right.
touch the body. I be standing outside if I have to because it's family member. I show up. In my whole life, I've been to one, two, three, four funerals in my entire life. Now my immediate family been to way more than that. I only
Yeah.
been to I've been to my mama's parents' funeral and her cousin, um, her older sister's son. Um, went to his funeral, and I went when I was my first funeral. I was like 6 or 5, and I went to my
Right.
cousin's funeral named Toy. She got hit by a car, and
Uh
the thing
huh.
was like slammed at the
Oh.
cement. We were little. We were all crossing the street, and for some reason she ran back and
Oh.
and I don't even remember the story that great, but she died, and I remember how she looked before, but she got hit by this car, so she was bruised, and I remember how she looked afterwards, and I think that scared me
Right.
because I ain't never want to be a part of no funeral, never again after that.
Right.
My next funeral, now I was 6, so that had to be 1977. And so then
Right.
then I was the next funeral I went to was in 94. So you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I won't go into nobody shit. I won't.
Me neither, Miss T. Matter of fact, I think we need to hit a word from our sponsor to break the conversation up.
I know we got. I know we didn't turn left on y'all. We dropped some gems. I hope y'all be paying attention to that, man. I'm telling you, I'm going to mail that TV to y'all if y'all win.
Yeah, and
I
drink
was
you
look,
some water too.
yeah, drink some water, and I'm thinking about buying a PlayStation 5 and putting that on the raffle. I bet y'all niggas jump on that shit. I said
Yeah,
I'm thinking about it, but they said they're coming out with the boxing game. So if I get a PlayStation 5 and get that boxing game, y'all gonna have to eat a dick on that one.
yeah, I don't mind getting one. Just to play with Wild or some of the old champions, you know.
Oh, I can't wait till that game come out. Can't wait. Now let's get back to boxing. Okay.
Right, right,
Clarissa Shields has been stripped of her title before her bout with Savannah Marshall, and she
right,
was stripped of the Ring magazine, which ain't like a real title or some shit. You
right,
can't get undisputed with it or without it. Um, it's for the 154 pounds. And the Ring magazine, this from the Ring magazine. She was told through social media. She found out when all of us found out. And Ring magazine actually said she vacated the belt, and to which she said quickly in a reply, hell to the no. I didn't vacate. What you talking about, Willis? I just paraphrased all that. And
yeah, different
the reason
strokes.
they gave her was man, what it said, what did I put down? The reason they gave her was the manager is they gave her manager is because she hasn't fought in 18 months. And when she going back to that weight, they keep asking when you going to go back to that weight and defend it or whatever. And they could have, I mean, somebody made the point that these sanctioning bodies and that's not even a real sanctioning body belt, the
Right,
ring.
right.
But they talk to the fighter to let them know what they're expecting, to let them know where they stand and this, that, and the other. So why they won't doing it? And they citing the rules. But what really happened is I think Clarissa's, mouth.
Yeah,
Clarissa be
she
out there running her mouth. And I don't say
right,
that Clarissa in a bad way if you listen, because you have every right, you're a grown ass woman. But you outspoken. And people don't want to hear that from you. I'm gonna say from
right.
you. And this is the unfairness of boxing because they wouldn't have a problem if Alicia Baumgartner was saying. And I shout out to you, Alicia. I like you. I ain't knocking you, but I gotta use you as an example. When you say what you want out your mouth and you outspoken, I don't think they would have did that to you. And then
Right.
I don't want to hear about going up to another weight class to fight something else. If you ain't stripping Canelo and motherfucking Triple G, what the fuck you talking about?
Yeah, it's all politics. It's all politics, man. And I think Golden Boy Promotions own the Ring magazine now.
Yeah, he owned it. They didn't like her saying what she said, and she catching it. In my opinion, discrimination because she catching it because she a woman and that
She's
she black.
black and
And
she's
I'm
good.
saying, and literally her complexion be catching her.
Right.
So,
And tell the truth, she should be on them. She should be like, I want to have some McDonald's or a Geico commercial. She should be a huge star with her accomplishment. Now, if her name was Becky Taylor,
mhm,
blonde hair, blue eyes, she gonna be on every magazine, every GMC commercial, every deodorant commercials. You know what I'm saying? And
mhm.
oh, she great, she great. They pop her up, they pop her up.
I believe that to a certain extent too. And I would say this for Clarissa. Shout out to her. Like she's outspoken. I
Yes, she
know that
is.
she's 27, but I know at 37 she's gonna be a little bit mild mannered. With 47, she'll be a little bit mild mannered because that's what people do as they get older. But she's
Yeah,
young, y'all. You cannot hold her feet to the fire like if you ain't holding everybody else's feet. And it's sad because of complexion for the protection. I mean, I think
right,
she goes through that, and it's like for me, the only advice I can say it's not like you don't bow down and you always be you, but understand your lane. Understand where you flourish and where
right.
you don't flourish. And you are not going to change people's mind. And I think she understands that and she knows that because if y'all don't see the 180 with her, I don't know what to tell you. At least a 160 from when she first started to now. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So much more polish off
What
and
she
you
doing? She
doing a
sleep.
great job, champ. But it's a work in progress and you always going to be on that particular journey in your life with finding your lane that you flourish in because some people is not going to hear it from you. Even
Right.
if you're right, wrong or indifferent, they don't want to hear it from you. And they
Yeah.
just gonna they're gonna throw all this stuff up and because it's basically how I take it. How dare you say what you said? You said nothing but the truth.
You're
That's
right.
how I
But you know, those fighters. I mean, over there in England, she get a big respect over there. More
mm-hmm.
respect over there than she do over here. You know, and when she talk, and she ain't gonna bite her tongue.
For
For
nobody.
nothing. I think that might have scared some of the big endorsements away too.
Yeah, that's why I say you gotta learn. It's sad, but eventually you will master it so well, it will be a part of you and it would come off beautiful. You know what I'm saying? It is what it's things I can't say or get away with. That my
Right.
own sister can do all day long. And it's complexion for the protection, straight up.
Right. You know what? She kind of remind me of she kind of got a personality of Miss Black when she get on because Miss Black don't hurt her tongue,
Yeah,
and
Miss
it's a
Black.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a big difference between you and Miss Black. It's night and day. Yours more professional, but when it's time for you to let everybody know your opinion, you do it. But Destiny is all nuclear. She all Uzi. She's shooting cannons everywhere.
Well, we all got to be ourselves and be different. And it's like I said, I had to learn my lane too. Like it was crazy some of the shit that I was go through when I was very young, especially when I first came in the Navy. And
Uh huh.
I remember I got in trouble because I was gonna beat this pilgrim down, man. I was gonna beat the fuck out of her, but she was fucking with me. And I told you I'm a true Libra. I be like, the first time you fuck with me, I be like, maybe you didn't mean it. I always give yourself the benefit of the doubt, the other person, and I always challenge myself to do better. You know what I'm saying? And you know what that come from? I ain't gonna lie. When we was younger, my mom would say, "These are my rules," and you would adhere to them. She don't give a care what somebody else did. She don't care if the teacher was in the wrong. somebody in the class was in the wrong. As she's listening to the story, she's listening for did you fuck up? One of her as one of her children. And if you fucked up, all the rest of the story is gone. She don't want to hear it. She ain't talking about it. She finna dig in your ass for what you did that she told you not to do. Because she didn't give you no exceptions to do it. You know what I'm saying? So it wouldn't matter. I could be totally in the right in 95% of it, but it's that 5% that I chose to disregard what she said and dead in my ass. So I learned that lesson as a young person. When I got older, that's why I always said gave people the benefit of the doubt. I said maybe they didn't mean it. Maybe she was, confused, or maybe if I'm just nicer, or maybe I could do this, and I would do that shit at my own apparel. But then it get to a point I'm like, nah, you just a straight up bitch. I'm gonna fuck your ass up. That's I get to that point, and I'll never forget. I went in the Navy, but a hot second. Right, I was about to beat this girl ass. And the guy who pulled me over and talked to me, he decided to punish us. He made us do extra work, like stand guard in the middle of the night and shit for a whole
Right.
day. But he talked to me. He said, "I know you can't do how you used to do back then." He was talking to me like, I know you from the hood. You can't act like you used to back then. I said, but he said, don't matter. It's not gonna work for you. He told me that
Right.
it's never gonna work for you. It'll work for her, but it's not gonna work for you. I said,
Right.
but you intimidated. This is what he told me. You intimidated. I was like way taller than this girl. If I'm so much taller than you and you intimidated by my size and color, then why are you fucking with me? Why are you fucking with I could not understand it. So I'm listening to him because he my superior. And I'm saying this duty to hurry up and get this shit out the way. But I ain't listening to him at the same time. Like that bitch say something else, I'm gonna fuck her up. But
Right.
I scared her enough she didn't come back. But I was not trying to be funny. I went in the bathroom. Girl, we was gonna break all them sinks up in that bitch. But I'm just saying, it took her, she was allowed to do that to me for months. Just fuck with me because I always kept checking myself. But
Right.
that's why
But
you gotta find your own lane.
now tell me something, Miss T. I'm former Marine, and a lot of people
Uh,
don't know to join the Navy. You gotta have intelligence. What led you to the Navy?
because I knew I'm a bougie bitch too. I know I'm not sleeping on nobody ground and nobody tent, and I ain't shitting outside or pissing outside. I'm not doing that shit. I don't want to take no damn gun to be pointed. I don't want to do all that. I wanted somewhere where I could lay down and be in some air conditioning. So I picked the Navy.
Yeah, yeah. Navy and the Air Force is all about brains and intelligence. Marine is, man, put on that backpack gun and go in the woods.
Mm-hmm. But y'all, hey, look, we gave y'all rides.
Yeah. But this I got into the Marines. The recruiter came over to my house, in that uniform, and he was
Mm-hmm.
telling me about all the girls he got in that uniform, and that's all I needed to know.
That's all you need to hear, huh?
Yeah. And
I was
got
going
there.
in the Marines with my best buddy. He lived across the hall from me. We all grew up. Shout out to Benton. We were going in the Marines, and we used to have to work out every Saturday, and we would work out, and everything's good. And then when some of the Marines that were actual Marines would come back home visiting, and they'd work out with us. And I finally met a female, and I said, "Hey, is it?" They told me it was gonna be like aerobics. She said, "Who told you that shit?" I was like, "It's not." She said, "Girl, if you ain't ready to hump and be in the mud and all, nope. Change your plans. Change your
Right.
plans." Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Going back to Carissa Shields, she got a big
Yeah.
fight with Marshall, and she should dominate that fight. I think she got more skills than Marshall, and Marshall, she supposed to have some power, but Carissa got a good chin, and she fought on the front foot a lot. So I think she could eat Marshall's power and
Mm-hmm.
eventually break her down to a unanimous decision.
We're gonna see, but see, this is what I think. If Clarissa don't really show that she dominated, the thick girl thick. I ain't know she was as thick as she was. Like I seen her arms, I was like, oh shit,
Yeah,
you know.
she
I
always
thought,
talking about her booty.
huh?
She always be talking about her booty too.
They be talking about her booty.
No,
No,
she be talking about her booty.
who Clarissa be talking about Savannah Marshall booty?
No, Chris be talking about her booty.
Oh, she's happy she got a butt.
Yeah,
Or whatever workout she's been doing. Plus, she's getting older and she's forming out.
right,
It's like, man, y'all still grow up to y'all late 20s too. So do women. Um,
right.
but yeah, Marsha got some thick arms. I was like, oh shit. And you know who that girl that Amanda Serrano had fought?
Yeah,
Katie Taylor? That bitch can
yes,
box. So when
yes.
I look at Marshall, sometimes I be thinking, is she gonna be able to box like Katie Taylor? Because
She could box.
I saw some Mayweather esque in Katie Taylor and some other shit. I was like, oh shit, this girl can box. She made me revamp how I feel about that whole fight card. What's her name? Franchon,
Bumgarner on there too.
all that. Yeah, they did a lot in 2 minutes. Cause I've been an advocate for the women having 3-minute rounds, just maybe
Right,
less rounds. But I don't know, them ladies made it look like, okay, I see. It's okay to have the 2-minute rounds or whatever. As long as you box. I don't like the rock 'em sock 'em, get in the phone booth and just hit each other to death. That shit can't never be the case. It ain't gonna last. You got about a good 3 years of that shit before you ain't, you toast. And you can't box and be having children. So you either gonna have your children before you start a boxing career or after. I don't know what you're gonna do. But
right,
that shit
but
is not conducive for your head. And they be talking
right.
about they give the women 2 minutes because they worry about the concussion of it all. Well, motherfucker, them boxing in the phone booth is gonna bring the concussion more faster than anything.
They bang.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't know
yeah,
if you ever seen Ann Wolf fight because Ann Wolf was
a couple
another
of times.
dog.
She was tough. I seen her more so train Tom, what's his name? Something Kirkland.
Yeah, James Kirkland. She made a beast out of him. Going back to Carissa Shields. One thing about her, I think she intimidated a lot of these white fighters, especially
Mm-hmm.
those white fighters over there. And in England, you could see the look in those white girls' eyes, like they already lost before the fight. And Clarissa, she used that ghetto thing, man, and like, I ain't scared of you.
Mm-hmm. And
I
then
ain't no punk.
Clarissa be bringing the word in to the edge of their tongue. I know. It's like I'm not saying they racist. Don't get me wrong. Y'all hear me out.
Right,
I'm not saying these white girls are racist. But the way Clarissa be talking, I swear to God, they want to say, nigga, you motherfucker.
right,
They want to say it. They want to, they bet not. They bet not. She going to beat him to a pole. And she going to have help too. They bet not. But, they be like, but what I don't like is, and I know Clarissa feel this shit, they be, to me, and maybe this is not y'all intentions, ladies, but you guys be looking at her like she beneath you. I can see
right,
that, and I don't
right.
like it.
Right, because
Even
that goes back to the Queen of England, like she's some great lady. I'm like, she ain't no better than my grandma. Just get out of
oh
here.
come on, man, we ain't gonna talk bad about the queen. I know a lot of people feel that way, but I'm a history buff, so she's of great interest to me. I like all history, good, bad, and the ugly. You
Uh-huh.
cannot be a history major and get a degree in history if you feel partial about, if you let things like that kind of stop you. I love all history, good, bad, and ugly, whether it's white, black, yellow, purple, because I'm amazed at how things can happen and be brewing for 20 years, but the gist of it happens 20 years later. Like, everything you could think of started so many years before,
Right,
and that shit is fascinating to me, and that's why I got my degree in that in politics. but Queen Elizabeth, what I'm gonna say, uh, they like Trump, like her, like presidents, like whoever.
right,
We
right. You right.
will know years from now the necessity for them. You might not know now. And some people know now her necessity, but you will learn 20, 30 years from now the necessity for her. Just like I can tell you right now, none of us will have the life we have if it wasn't for King Henry VIII. And that's
You got
a descendant from that guy.
you got to enlighten me about that. I don't know nothing about that.
Protestant religion grew out of his time. Capitalism grew out of his time. Reformation grew out of his time. Them coming over to the era of encounter started because of what he started, and his whole family, the Tudors, they brought all that shit to bear, and slavery even came on the back end all the way, and that's not a good thing. Though I say good, bad, and ugly.
Right.
From Reformation. Had they never had Reformation, they wouldn't have wanted to come over here to recruit and find the new world, so to speak, so that they can build some more Catholics, because the Catholics was
Right.
loose. And all this mostly because he wanted an heir. It's not exactly that, but it's kind of more complicated than that. But mostly because he wanted the heir. He had plenty of sons. He just couldn't get the woman he was married to like she had plenty of sons. His first wife had 8 children. They died. The sixth child lived, which was Bloody Mary. You heard of Bloody Mary.
Yeah, the vampire lady. Which one killed his wives? How the head cut off? Which one was that?
He killed the second and his second wife, and I want to say his fifth wife. He didn't kill
Okay.
them all.
That's not a bad thing.
he killed the fifth one, but that's his fault. He married somebody way young, a teenager, probably younger than his daughters. And of course, she gonna be what she gonna be. She cheated on the ass, so you can't do that. Back in the day, women couldn't do no shit like that. So she
Right.
was the second one because of lies, and he just grew disenchanted with her, over the time. And she was the first, but she was a bitch. Anne Boleyn, that's Queen Elizabeth the First mother. He killed her. And then he, treated his daughters bad. One minute they the princess and heir apparent, and then next you ain't my daughter. I won't really marry to your mama. All this bullshit. But he had a son. He had a son, and I think his son was Edward the Fourth or the Fifth, something like that. Maybe Edward the Sixth. I can't remember the number, but he was Edward, but he died as a teenager. He died in 19 or something like that, 18. And so then it went to his oldest daughter, Mary, who got stepped on and bypassed and everything. She could never have a kid. Then it went to Queen Elizabeth the First, his youngest daughter by Anne Boleyn, and that's the Tudor dynasty. And through them, you have Protestant religion, capitalism, the Reformation, which led to slavery. I mean, a lot of stuff that's a part of our everyday life. Protestant,
Right.
look how many Protestant religions they have, Baptist, all this other stuff. Capitalism was so good it became a damn near like a religion. Before that, it was mercantilism, their economic way of doing things, and then you had Calvinism, and then all that shit was born out of this dude's reign and his need to have an heir, and he made himself the head of the church, which was uncustomary because the Catholic religion, they were the head, the Pope and all that. But because the Pope wouldn't give him an annulment, he was like, fuck that, I'm the head of the church. I'm gonna hire my own bishop and all that. But he was very much a Catholic, but the Protestant religion in the underground spoke to how he felt. So that's why he had to raise that up, because it's through that religion he could get a divorce and all this stuff. Yeah.
Tell me something. How did Ireland started fighting with them over there?
Well, they were their own countries, Ireland, Scotland, and all that. And they was just, but you gotta think too, a lot of their monarchies, they mix with each other. It's like, hey, you marry my daughter. Hey, you marry my son. All this stuff. But the Queen of England, they always, I mean, the king, the monarchy of England, they always thought they was the head anyway. But they had
Right.
family members who married off into them. Ireland is something, that's more complicated and all that. But their beef for the longest was with Scotland for the longest time.
Okay.
But his sister, because his father was the first tutor of the monarchy, and he took it from King Richard III. But his sister, King Henry's sister, was a wife over there in Scotland with one of them kings, and she had a descendant. And what's her name? Mary. Elizabeth killed her or had her killed.
Wow.
It's funny as hell. It's like a soap opera, dog. But that was what my master's was gonna be in the UK history. My
Oh
bachelor,
wow.
my bachelor's was in American history.
And you was keeping on that same subject. When I was in high school and we did like the French Revolution, I
Mm-hmm.
was like, man, I'm glad I wasn't born in that time because they was cutting off everybody has in France.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
And it's crazy because our whole country was built kind of off that, like that was the Enlightenment period, and all Thomas Jefferson, he got all those ideas and came over and built this country, or made
no shit.
the where was it he wrote the Declaration of Independence and did he? Wait a minute, I'm fucking up. He wrote the Constitution or helped
Right.
write it. Did I say Declaration of Independence? But he wrote all that stuff, and then he was a part of the Enlightenment period, which our whole country is built off of that. So, which came out of the French Revolution and all that stuff too. So, all those ideas that came out of there. I just remember it was the Enlightenment period or something. But and believe it or not, he actually says that this country should revolutionize every 20 years or so. I don't like that, but he said that. He said that. Yeah. But we got a different system. We're not a parliament. We don't have a prime minister. We got a bicameral system and this, that, and
Right.
that. It's just crazy.
Right.
Like I said, things you do in yesteryears and how they come to fruition 20 years or so later. Thomas
Right.
Jefferson, he has a very interesting story, and it's more than just about Sally Hemings to me. And her story, her part of the story is very fascinating too. But he's fascinating himself. Like, oh my God, some of the early Supreme Court cases came off of some shit he was doing. Starting at him and John Adams.
Right. But you know what? Not to cut you off, but did you see Amistad?
I saw it and I don't remember it. I saw it so long time ago.
They said that he was like one of the lawyers on the Amistad cases.
Was he? I have to
That's
go
what they
back
said.
and watch it. The only thing I remember about Amistad is give us free.
Yeah, yeah. They said Thomas Jefferson or maybe his son Quincy Adams, one of them.
Yeah,
He was president. Yeah, he was president, and years later he became the Amistad lawyers that got him off.
I don't know my gut. See, I don't know that story that good, but I don't know
According
why
to the
I'm thinking
movie,
John Adams. I'm thinking that would have
it
been
might have
his.
been John Adams.
But this was crazy what I take from their story, because it's so much history. You got to remember so much, so you don't be locked in. And if you know the story, you know how to. If you was gonna be a teacher, you'll know how to find the resources that take you to it, so you can refresh and know it,
Right.
like know every inch of the story. But certain things will stand out when you learn the history about certain people. I didn't know that for the longest time. I didn't know growing up that John Adams and Thomas Jefferson hated each other. Oh my God, they hated
No.
each other. They died on the
Why?
same day too.
They died
They
when?
they died on the same day.
For real? What was the
Yeah.
beef? You know?
So you heard of
Don't tell me
uh
it's over a girl.
no. It was power. It's just power.
Okay.
My conclusion would be it's just power. John Adams appointed, this how grimy he was. He appointed a lot of people to permanent positions in the government. He's the second president. He did that, as they say, in the midnight hour. And Thomas Jefferson didn't like that because he was getting coronated. Not I say coronated. I'm thinking about the Queen. He was getting what you call it, inaugurated the next day,
Okay.
president. But John Adams, the day before or the days before, he appointed all these people. Well, you know how you can get your job if you get appointed to the Supreme Court justice, you by the president, he may pick you, but you have to be confirmed by the Senate. And so think of those days with no transportation like we have today. And
Right.
some people ain't nowhere near DC. They at home on that farm or whatever. Some people got confirmed and some people didn't. So when Thomas Jefferson came into office the next day, all them people that was on the job but didn't get confirmed yet, he fired them. The fuck out of here. And there's some people that he did confirm, that was confirmed. He wanted to fire them, but they was confirmed, so he couldn't do shit about it. And you know how a president gonna feel? You taking my picks? That's my privilege. That's my right. But you're not president until you president.
Right. Your boy got a problem with that.
That famous case, Madison versus Jefferson, I think, or Madison. It's got Madison in it. So James Madison, which was a president too, but he was involved in this case, and the Supreme Court justice was John Marshall. I think his name was John Marshall, or whoever. John Adams appointed him, but he was the one that got confirmed. So when they did the case and all that, what was the irony of it was that the one who was confirmed during, in that last couple of days that Thomas Jefferson initially wanted to fire him, Thomas Jefferson was going to take his ball home. He was going to blow up the government and take his ball home.
Are you serious?
He was going to blow the government up and take his ball home because he ain't like that shit. But in the Supreme Court, justice recognized that. I could be having my names. Look, I haven't cracked these books in so long. I could be fucking up the names. But the Supreme Court justice that was confirmed recognized that, and in a sense, sided with Thomas Jefferson. Ain't that
okay?
If he didn't do that shit, where would this country be? Because I'm telling you, Thomas Jefferson gonna blow this shit up and take this ball home.
Right. I think like when Lincoln got assassinated, man, it was already tough for blacks as it is. But when he got assassinated, and I didn't know Grant was so fucking racist, man.
You think he was?
According to the history, Ulysses S. Grant, because I think he was the president after Lincoln got assassinated, and all the momentum and all the stuff that we were supposed to get, they took that back and some.
It's a shame. This is how long I've been out the game. I haven't been studying history in so damn long. It's crazy. I used to roll this shit off my tongue. I can't roll this shit no more. Hold on. Because there's I know Grant was the president. Which one was president during Reconstruction? It was 10 years of Reconstruction.
Yeah. So Lincoln got assassinated. Then Grant took over when he got I guess maybe the next year or maybe the next president's election. And that's when
Johnson. I knew it wasn't Grant. Johnson. I couldn't even. This crazy guy. I used to roll this shit off my tongue. Look, I gotta go do a refresher course or something. I said it couldn't be Grant because Lincoln got assassinated, so his vice president would have took over. Andrew Johnson.
Who? That's Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
When did Grant took over?
Let me see. Grant. Let me see. President.
He was terrible. All of them was terrible except for Bill Clinton. Obama.
They used to be like Clinton black. This is
I ain't gonna
in that bitch. and he popped up. He was a general still, in 1865 when Johnson took over.
Right.
Uh,
Did you hear anything
United
about?
States he was president from 1869 to 1877. Johnson was still an old school Southern dude,
Right.
and Grant really didn't care. Grant. If you look like you think of the worst presidents, but years from now, and I'm not trying to rep them, years from now, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, you will see the relevance of that president, even Trump. You're going to see. Now, do that mean you want to bring Trump back? Hell no. Don't tempt fate. But you will see. And by the way, people, it's voting season. Thought I'd just throw that out. Somewhere in your state, they're voting because Congress is up every 2 years, and we in that second year. So it's voting season. Early voting is going to be starting for us on the 17th. I don't know when it starts for you guys, but go out there and vote. I
Vote.
can't tell you who to vote for, but go vote.
Right. You know what I'm saying? You know what I was thinking of?
Yeah.
We got that sister on the Supreme Court,
Mm-hmm.
and I bet you she ain't gonna say not one word to Clarence Thomas. They ain't gonna have no relationships at all, cause she know how corrupt and terrible his ass been for the last 30 years.
She got to say something to him. She gonna have a
Well,
guards up. So,
you know what I mean. I mean,
yeah.
case wise, yeah, but I'm talking about, hey, let's our family get together and have some
No, they
chicken or
actually
something.
do. They actually do. Because Anthony Scalia, the one who died, they broke bread with him. And he was flaming racist. But they broke
Right,
bread with him. You in the government, when you working in government work, you should know this as a Marine. So what they say. Don't you ain't gotta like the person, respect the person. They said respect the uniform, right? So
right,
respect the position. And you gotta break bread with them people in certain positions. You gotta work with them every time, even though your feeling could be, they just gonna go left, they gonna go right. You still gotta come to the table. Any politician should. And that's why, like I said, I'm a centrist Democrat because I believe in compromise. Come to the table. I can
right.
dislike Republicans all day long, but they still Americans. I got to come to the table. They can do dirt.
Right.
I don't have my guard up, but they still my brother and sister. That
Yeah.
sounds crazy to some, but that's me. You ain't gonna get nowhere locking
Without
horns. You just can't.
without compromise.
Yeah, without compromise.
It's gotta
That's
compromise, man.
right. I think we lost everybody.
Yeah, man. I like that history lesson you was talking. We gotta do this again.
I know.
So I got
Listen,
some more questions.
I know some people be like, she don't even know the name. Look, I got to do a refresher, but it'll come
Right.
back to me. That's what I got
Well,
to
I
understand.
got
American
I got
history.
one more question for you.
What's up?
They said before George Washington took over as president, did you
Mhm.
ever heard about a black president or maybe a mulatto black guy was like,
Yeah, they was talking about the 13 colonies before when we had the Articles of Confederation, and
right,
another we had a couple of presidents that were of color, mulatto type people. In fact,
right?
Lincoln mother was black. Y'all don't know that.
No, I didn't know that.
Because black people been coming to America long before. This is part of the history they don't really want to teach school, but I read this in a book. Black people been coming to America a long time before Columbus and all that set sail over here and all this stuff, and before slavery. They've been coming here for
Right,
thousands of years. In fact, I don't know what part of Africa, but you can look it up. There's a current that comes from Africa to different places in the world, and all
uh-huh.
you got to do is set your boat in it, and it will paddle your ass all the way to the new world, which is the Americas. It will take you
Right,
right straight here. You can put your boat in the other part going backwards, and it'll take your ass. You ain't even gotta have a sail or nothing, and you'll know it because it's a statue of a black guy pointing that way, pointing. And bigger than life. But they've been coming here thousands of years. This is why The Indians was never surprised when they saw black people. They never was surprised. They been seeing black people. I'm not gonna say Abraham Lincoln mama was all the way black, but she was black. In fact, when he was running for Congress and president, his opponents would tease him about that. Basically, call him a nigga.
No, I didn't know that.
Hmm. He got some black quality. There's a lot of white people that got some black quality. We
Yeah.
Warren Harding's supposed to have been a black guy. I can't confirm or deny none of this shit, but he was
They
supposed to be.
say, what's that racist FBI guy? Oh, Hoover has some black people in it too.
Yeah, he was supposed to be a black guy. But back then, a lot of people, especially in the late 1800s or in the early 20th century, early to like I guess up to the 40s. I don't know how long they did it, but it was a lot of black people passing for white.
Right.
And you got a lot of white people that think they white, and they got some good percentages of black in them. That shit is funny to me. You be thinking you white all these years, and then you go, thinking you superior or something. Then you go pull your DNA. That was on the TV show one day. This guy was like, when I see white people with wiry like hair or thick
Right.
like, yeah, I be like, you got some black in you. I be like,
Yeah.
don't worry, it's all good. It's
Yeah,
all
like a friend of mine, she was like, "Oh, I'm Jamaican." So she did the ancestry test, and she's straight from Ghana. Somebody told you wrong.
Ah, yeah, and it's
And
crazy because you could do that, and because we pull on so many ancestors when we're being made. Most of the time, what you look like on the outside ain't necessarily what your genes are popping off in the inside. When you
right,
make a baby, we know it's independent assortment and random selection, meaning them genes are independently assorted and then randomly selected. And that's how, on both sides, and the men's side too, like when y'all shoot y'all, whatever, same thing, independently assorted and random selected. And that's how you make, babies. But you have thousands upon thousands of genes in your whole makeup that you
right,
can pull from, independently pull from, a century ago.
right. That's why some black people be, even though they dark, the baby come out light skinned, but both their parents dark.
Mm-hmm. That's why that happens. Or sometimes the woman brown skin, the guy dark skin, they had this baby with green eyes or blue eyes, and be like, that ain't my baby. Dude be like, I watch
Right,
maternity court all the time. You be like, that ain't my baby. I
right,
don't make babies that look like that. And then she be
right,
like, you are the father. I be laughing my ass off.
right. When I was in the Marines, we was over there doing the Gulf War, and I seen this black Saudi guy. He was jet black, but he had blonde blue. I mean, he had blue eyes. Fucked
Mm.
me up.
What black people do in the Indonesian area, those little islands, those black people have long hair,
Hmm.
colorful eyes, all that shit. Like I said, that shit all come from the motherland. Period.
Motherland.
We'll be here all day trying to break that shit down. But there was a movie that came out. I don't know the name of it, but they will never play that bitch again. And they were
They
showing
need
how
to.
everybody came from the same 5 women.
Right.
That
From
what it
that
was
from that one woman from Africa.
called. So it was 5 of them. It was like all people. Cause you adapt, you look and have genes and stuff according to adaptation. You have to adapt to your surroundings.
Right. That's what, like the scientists say. You could take a black man and made it with anything, and the black gene gonna be the dominant gene. But if you
Mhm.
take it like a white gene and made it with somebody else, it's not gonna be the dominant gene.
Dominant, but it can come out as a dominant gene on your kid. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like you said, you can have two dark skinned parents, and the white gene was recessive, but it was dominant when you did that Punnett square. Remember those Punnett squares in science?
No, I felt that class.
I won't do it too great when I was doing it back then too, but I remember them kind of, like how they do recessive, dominant, and the bottom line. You have a conclusion, and it changed every time. But they was teaching you back then. independent assortment and random selection. But it's been 2 hours and we got from tangent. It's good talking to you though, Reggie. Now I
Yeah,
know some of y'all was still listening. Y'all hit that like, but some of y'all checked out like, man,
yeah. Drink that
talking
water.
about he said drink that water. Tell him again.
Yeah, drink that water before you go to bed and in the morning too.
He probably was like, y'all was talking about history and stuff. Miss T learned today that she got to go do a refresher because I was like, wait a minute, I should have popped. Man, I used to know the presidents like the back of my hand. I count them all for you. And I was like, wait a minute, you said Ulysses S. Grant. I said, yeah, he was president. I don't know if he was president after Lincoln. And I should have thought the president died, the vice president would have been. Ulysses
Right.
S. Grant was a general when Lincoln was
General.
president. So that was Johnson. But yeah, it's a wonder that Reconstruction got done. I'm telling you, whether you like the president a lot or not, so far, but you don't want to tempt fate, y'all. You don't ever want to tempt fate in this young country that we belong to, because we're one of the youngest countries on
Youngest.
And
That's
we
a
have
fact.
had presidents, and it has been proven years down the road that they were necessary for something. That only as always you're gonna say the story like this. Only Donald Trump could have did that. Only Bill
Right.
could have did that. Only Obama could have did that. But you won't find out about it until later. It's only now that President Carter is kind of getting a reprieve. He did a lot, and they took credit. Like Reagan and them took credit for the shit that
Right.
he did. He did a lot, and we was lucky to have him. Lucky, but
Yeah, President Carter.
yeah, and they still kicking it, y'all. They still alive.
Yeah.
Shout outs to June and Jimmy Carter.
Yep. The Carters. And you got Bush second,
They
Obama,
dead. Daddy Bush dead.
and Trump. I think we only got like 4 living presidents now.
We got Trump, Obama, Bush Jr., and Carter's. Reagan gone, Daddy
Reagan
Bush
gone.
gone. And yeah, Clinton getting older than a bitch.
Ain't he? Ooh, he graced a lot when he got out the White House.
He is getting so old.
So old.
Mm-hmm. Y'all gonna realize they gonna realize they wish they would have let Hillary be president. Her time is gone. Gone. She'll never make it. And I know she don't want to neither. She happy being a grandmother, but y'all missed the nugget on that one.
Yeah. And think about it, she got the most votes, but votes don't count when it's the electoral college that counts.
But again, if they wanted to change that shit, they should do it like in between when the president is there. Like, start it up now. Like, if that's what you want to do. Don't complain about that shit when the election is going down. But yeah, I'm a Democrat. I vote Democrat. I can suggest and advocate all day long, but I truly believe it is your individual choice, and don't throw it away because it's your right and your privilege. Right now, they call it a privilege in this country, but it's kind of like a right too because you're a citizen. Go ahead and exercise your right to vote. Do not let that pass by. There's people who did a lot, even to the point of putting their life on the line so that you
like we did, Miss T, for you to vote.
Yeah, white people too, and so a lot of people did that. And I don't know if I was at their age, what I have done what they did. That I can be sure. I ain't gonna be 19 to 20 and be like, all right, it's worth dying for. Not me. I don't think so. But I'm glad that they did, and I will respect what they did by going out and voting. Don't let nobody tell you not to vote. Don't take their hatred and their upsetness and make it yours. That's their personal problem. You go out and vote. That's all I can say. I can't tell you who to vote for. I can tell you who I'm voting for. I can tell you where I see the problems at. But vote your interest. That's what you do. Whoever that may be. Vote not who you want to be. You're not elite, so don't vote elite's interest. You vote your interest. So that's all I got to say. Anything you want to say to close out?
Hey, drink that water. Let me see that commercial.
Yeah, yeah. Let's play that commercial. Stay tuned for a word from our sponsor.
I know that's right, Miss T.
I know. Look, y'all, they think I'm playing, man. I'm telling you. I, I'm telling you. And that's the story of my life too. Like people be like thinking I'm joking. I'm not. I got the TV right in this house right now in the box, waiting to give it to somebody.
Yeah.
Anywho, sorry that I didn't make it yesterday and the day before. One was a computer issue, and Miss T was tired. Sometimes I get that way.
Yeah. She ain't drinking enough water.
I probably didn't drink my water that day, huh? All I know is that bed was calling me. It was calling me. It was calling me. I got in the bed that said it was 2 o'clock in the morning. I was like, God damn. Oh well, I'll get him tomorrow. And
Amen.
then the next day I was like I had a change internet provider, right? And they and they had told me my final bill was like 163 or something. I said, okay, let me go ahead and pay it, right? And then I called the number to pay because I usually do it over the phone. And the mother said 445. Oh, hold up. How you jump like that? I, let me speak to an operator. So I talk to them. And it's crazy because I bought this I don't know what to call it. Was it a router or the other thing, the modem? I don't know. I bought an Eero. You ever heard of an Eero?
Uh-uh.
It's supposed to expand in my bandwidth in my house or whatever. I bought this Eero and then I called my internet provider at the time and I was telling them to, can you help me hook this up? Can you get it to work? Because I could not figure it out. And it came in two little pieces and you put it by your man. It was supposed to just make your computer just be hauling ass working. You know what I'm saying? And they was trying to merge it and they was like, well, what's the serial number? And I told them, they said, that's not our equipment. But some kind of way, somebody logged it down as their equipment, right? So when I turned their equipment in, she was like, oh, we got 2 Eros. That's something we gave to you. And I'm like, no, you didn't. But I said, you know what? I bought that shit years ago. I should have took it back. I said, you know what? You can have that shit because I ain't paying you for nothing. So I took it back. And when I unplugged it, that's when I saw my new internet provider had plugged something into their device or some kind of way hooked the new device up to through their stuff, and it was distorting my computer. And I don't know if you remember or you was watching one day my shit just shut down or something, or sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it just don't be working. It was that. So then I ain't never know. So when I plugged it, I had to call the new one, and it's Xfinity who's who I'm rolling with. So I called him, and she was like, "You ain't even got to use all that shit. Unplug that shit. Yo, we gave you the top notch modem. You don't need to be messing with it. Unplug all that crap." And ever since they did, man, my internet been it been fired.
I know that's right.
But I had, was done in the dark would come to the light. He knew that shit didn't belong to him. When he hooked up my damn internet, he knew that equipment didn't belong to him, but he used it anyway. Come on, Sean, you
Mm-hmm.
did that shit in the dark, ain't tell me, but it came to light.
Trying to do the Conor Benn. Try
I
to
know,
sneak it
right?
in.
Trying to sneak it in, but we found your ass, Kunta. But anywho, yeah, I had a good time talking to you, Reginald. I do.
Yeah, me too,
Um,
Miss T.
I'm a geek, y'all. I'm naturally a geek. I'm like that robot on Short Circuit when he said input, input. I love that. I could be a career student, no lie. But I apologize if I bored y'all. If me and Reggie now bored
Yeah.
y'all. But you know, we had to
for
have
that history lesson.
our history moment, y'all. And it was enjoyable. Like I could have gone on and on. I said, catch yourself. I was getting too happy, Reginald. Thank you.
I was enjoying it too. I was gonna hit you some more questions, man.
I know, look, and I'd have been wrong. And look, history people, you can be look, this thing when people say I got a history degree, they try to act like you know sometimes when you especially because they can lead to debates and they be act like you know every little thing. It's so much history. You got enough history in your life to write buku novels.
Right.
So when you talk about other people's lives, you ain't gonna know everything. You're gonna know the gist, but you will know it's enough resources, primary and secondary sources, where you could put something together and write something, you know, write some decent papers and all that stuff, and or write some books and put it together and all that. And so that's what history major is all about. It's about writing. Bottom line,
Right.
it's all you do is write. Sir Ambo is in the building. What's up, King? We about to shut it down. He said, salute to Sir Ambo. We was being a little boring at the end of the show, me and Now
Doing American history.
Doing American history and European history a little bit.
And he came in at the right time. He could hear that Pam voice before we bounce out of here.
Yeah. Listen, thank y'all for coming in and tuning in. And I'm going to hit you with the Pamela James voice. Peace.
Peace.